We've seen 2 games of the preseason so far. I listed the best quarterbacks, the most impressive to me so far. Number 1 is obvious. It's Zach Wilson. This shouldn't be a debate. Yep. Everybody should have the same opinion worldwide. Zach Wilson has been facing starters or second stringers, whatever you want to call them. He's been facing a mix of them. He's been starting out the games, that's for sure. He has been going up against third stringers, and he's been making the most realistic NFL throws, and he just pops. Second is Mack Jones. Mack Jones has been slinging it like he was slinging it at Alabama. I thought he was great at Alabama. I thought he was going to transition well into the NFL. It's happened so far. 3 for me is Justin Fields. Even though he's been going up against the worst competition out of all these guys outside of Trey Lance, Fields has been able to improvise, and I do sympathize with the fact that he is coached under Matt Nagy right now, right? You know, Matt Nagy, I'm not high on Matt Nagy at all. Number 4 for me is Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is 4.
This guy.
He's shown me flashes, and Trey Lance, the problem with him is that all of his balls are hard. All he does is throw fast balls. He doesn't throw any balls with touch. His balls are hard and rock solid. It's hard to catch his balls. Number 5, Trevor Lawrence.
I was waiting for Kellen Mond or something.
To me, the worst of the first-round quarterbacks so far has been Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence does not look generational. He does not look Andrew Luck-esque. I never thought he was Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, rookie season, took a Colts team to the playoffs that was just 2-14. Luck was different. He had luck on his side. Trevor Lawrence is not that. To me, he has not been impressive. I'm expecting more out of Trevor Lawrence. Let me know what you guys agree and don't agree with it.
Well, I think to start it off, I think all 5 have been at least okay. I think they've all been good in the situations, whether it be, against second string or third string. I think they've all been good in the situations they've been put in, and they've all been playing well. Number 1, I can't, deny that. Zach Wilson, he's been just doing he's been honestly pretty amazing, phenomenal, making throws. His arm strength is ridiculous. His accuracy has been on point. He's just been different. He's been great. Mack Jones also, stepping in. He was phenomenal when he played. Justin Fields, like you said, even though it was against second string, he showed a little bit of that running ability that we know about. He showed a little bit of that arm strength. He's been good. Trey Lance. But I think, your list is valid because, like you said, putting in just off what they've done, Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked like Andrew Luck, especially bringing in the fact that all the hype that was surrounded around these guys coming in. Trevor Lawrence was projected to be the next Andrew Luck. He's been talked about since he was like a freshman in college. He was supposed to be generational. So even though it's just preseason, talking from just a preseason standpoint, he hasn't looked what he should have looked like when he, started playing. He should be number 1 on this list. He should look the best, but it's looking like Zach Wilson and Mack Jones to me, and then it's like a gap, and then it's the next 3. I think those 2 have just looked phenomenal and outright much better than the other 3, but the other 3 have been looking good too.
So you're right, Zach Wilson. I'll just skip over that. It's obvious. He's 100% been the best. The one thing that stands out to me is his pocket presence, though. Already he looks like he is years into to his career. His ability to understand that the pocket's collapsing, finesse his way out of there, still make a crazy throw, tight spiral, right in the money. He has been unbelievably impressive, no doubt about it.
It's a smile for me.
Yeah, I know. And what about his legs? Something about his legs, right?
Yeah, his legs are thick. There's definitely some ass on those thighs. When I saw him, Zach Wilson got that.
I'm glad you said that, man. That was funny. But I think it's been a little bit of a drop. Then I would say Mack Jones. I'd feel like Zach Wilson's been that impressive to me. Mack Jones really has looked good, but he hasn't thrown a touchdown yet, which I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see how he gets into the end zone because that's Teddy's thing. Teddy can move the ball down the field, but he can't get into the end zone like that. I do think that he's done a good job of moving the chain so far, but I want to see him get into the end zone a little bit more. I agree, Justin Fields, 100%. I would say Trevor over Lance. I feel Lance really, like you said, I feel like he's a little bit too tight right now, and he's trying to force some balls in there and put a little bit extra velocity on them when he doesn't need to. I feel like with experience, he'll learn to pick and choose when to do that and he'll understand, okay, I need to throw a fastball here. Okay, I need to put a little bit touch and a little bit finesse on this ball here. I feel as if, we're being a little bit too critical on Trevor. He's had some good moments to throw to Marvin Jones. He had a nice play where he's scrambling out of the pocket to his opposite side, makes a throw still, gets hit, completes the pass. Nice play there. But it's been tough because he's obviously put in a position where he's on the worst team in the league. He is talent-wise now with the moves that they've made. They definitely have done some things to try and put him in a better situation. But regardless of that fact, the team is still not great. That O-line still needs to be addressed. He's been sacked 3 times in 2 games. He needs more help on that offensive line. I'm not going to be too critical. I've seen some good things out of him. I've seen some not so good things out of him. But again, it's the preseason. I'm not going to look too deep into it. But solely off what we've seen in the preseason, your list isn't too far off. I'd just switch Lance and Lawrence. But Zach Wilson has been that guy for sure.
I probably should have prefaced my statement by saying first that all of them have been pretty good. None of them have
for sure
have screamed out bust to me. None of them they haven't played like it. Obviously, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is generational. I think he's very good, but not generational.
Do you think he could be a top 5 quarterback in the league one day? Because that's what generational means to me.
Yeah.
No.
Oof. Okay.
That's
that.
reserved
I like
for
the
Zach.
stone cold face.
That's reserved for Zach Wilson.
They both could be.
Nah, Zach Wilson got that.
Okay.
There's a gap between Zach and Trevor.
Easy.
I told you.
Is crazy.
I told you.
You did
off the podcast that Trevor Lawrence's moment.
My bad, bro.
Trevor Lawrence's shining moment was as a freshman when he won the national championship game against Alabama.
I agree with this.
After that game, everybody anointed him as the next quarterback prospect, the next future number 1 pick that's going to turn a franchise around, which I think is unfair for any 19-year-old to go through. He was the number 1 ranked quarterback. Fields is number 2, I think, in that high school class. But Trevor Lawrence, when you look at what he's done after that, and even in that national championship game, he had mistakes. And these past 2 years in college, Trevor Lawrence in big-time games has not played well.
That's right.
But because people have already become accustomed to everybody anointing him as the next Luck, as the next Peyton, people overlook all of his flaws. I think he's good. He's 6'6". He has the size, most definitely. But there are some things there that it makes you question it a little bit. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that I don't think he's Luck or Peyton. Coming out of college, I don't think he was as polished as a prospect as them coming out of college. I think Zach Wilson fits more into that line of guys than Lawrence. And I don't even think Wilson was as polished as Luck coming out of college or Payne. Obviously, I saw Luck. I didn't see Payne. Coming out of college, Luck to me was different. Wilson, even though I love Wilson, he wasn't as polished as a prospect as Luck. There were some concerns with Wilson, although to me, not many. I want to talk about Trey Lance because to me, he was the rawest of the quarterback prospects. And the only reason why I have faith that he's going to pan out is because of Kyle Shanahan. And he ran an offense similar to that in college. And Trey Lance, to me, he does have a great arm. He has a lot of velocity on his throws. But that's also a problem because all of his throws, even if it's a 5-yard route, he's throwing it 100 miles per hour. And his balls are hard to catch. And Chris Sims, he does an amazing job covering these QBs. He's mentioned that as a flaw of Trey Lance's. That's why I don't think right now they should trot him out right away. I think Justin Fields, if he starts week one, I'd be comfortable with it. I think Fields can handle it. After seeing him in the preseason, Fields, I feel like, has cleaned up a lot of his stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't trust Matt Nagy, so I think that could be Fields' downfall.
I don't think they should start Fields week 1. I think you're right.
He's going to start.
No, Dalton. Yeah, they said that he's going to be the starter. But regardless of that, we saw Mahomes sit a whole season. If Mahomes can sit a whole season, anyone can sit a whole season. It's that plain and simple. Again, this Bears team right now is not good. That O-line is one of the worst in the league, in my opinion. Allen Robinson is a very good weapon. Mooney is up and coming for sure. Cole Kmet is another up and coming talent. But Mooney is more established as he's shown more. Kmet is going to break out relatively soon. But regardless of that, Montgomery's really solid. But you can't do much when you don't have an O-line. You can make adjustments and read defenses and try to place your guys in the best position possible for sure. But at the same time, it comes to a point where when you don't have time and, he is mobile and that's going to benefit him, you don't want him right away to be put in a situation where he's running for his life.
Yeah.
That's why I think Fields is better, though, because
definitely.
The offensive line is horrible. If you have Dalton back there, he's going to get destroyed.
Definitely.
It kind of like, I kind of related to like the Wentz and Hurts situation, because our offensive line was banged up and pretty bad, and Wentz was getting sacked a lot. When we put Hurts in, he was able to run out, escape the defensive line, and get out of there. So I think
good comparison.
And with the Mahomes and Smith thing, yeah, I get it. Mahomes, great guy, great talent. He sat for a year, but Anthony Dalton isn't Alex Smith. And
Matt Nagy's an Andy Reid.
Yeah, and the Chiefs aren't the Bears. The Chiefs were kind of in like playoff mode at the moment. I don't think the Bears. I think we can all agree. I don't know. Maybe they do think. I don't think they think they're in playoff mode right now. So I think, why not just rip the Band-Aid off and just start Fields? The offensive line is bad, but where's Andy? Andy Dalton can't run. He's not a runner. He's probably going to take some hits, and you should want to know what you have faster than later. You don't want to wait and see.
Sooner rather.
Yeah, you would rather understand what you have right now. So I think maybe he should probably start, maybe not week 1, but I definitely think he should start probably like week 4, week 5, so you can figure out what you have.
I agree with that sentiment to a degree. I just think with the fact that they traded up for him, I know that they believe in him already. I don't want them to kill his confidence and him coming in and him playing bad or him not being put in a position to play good. You mentioned it. You don't think Nagy's a good head coach. I disagree to a degree. I feel like, he doesn't have the talent necessary yet. But I feel like Justin Fields is a step in that right direction. They put an O-line in his, they set him up with a good O-line. I feel like Justin Fields would be put in a better situation. But you're right. That Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz situation is a perfect comparison. Carson Wentz isn't as mobile. Andy Dalton isn't as mobile. Both those guys you mentioned are mobile QBs. It'll definitely benefit them. But I don't want to put him in a position this early into his career where it's going to kill his confidence.
I'm pleasantly surprised at the fact that we are now looking at Zach Wilson and we're saying, wow, he's in a top 2 situation. Mack Jones, I think, is at number 1. Trey Lance, you can put up there as well. I think he's in a great situation as well.
Trey Lance is in a better situation.
But I do think Trey Lance is not going to play right away. I see Mack or Zach or Fields, Lawrence, they're all going to play this season. There's a possibility Trey Lance doesn't play at all this season. Mm-hmm. But we're looking at Wilson like he's in a top 2 situation. Mike LaFleur coming from San Fran, the brother of Matt LaFleur, who has had a lot of success in Green Bay. He is our offense coordinator. We're going to run a lot of play-action plays for Zach Wilson, making the game easy for him so he doesn't have to do too much. All I heard before the draft and after the draft was that Lawrence and the Jaguars were a better situation than Zach Wilson and the Jets. That's all I heard pre-draft. And now, after 2 preseason games, we're looking at the Jaguars like they actually suck.
Yeah.
Like they're actually not good. Urban Meyer looks way over his head. Darrell Bevel is not a good OC. These plays are bad. The offensive line is horrific. Even though Brandon Linder has not been playing, they have been missing their offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. At the same time, Lawrence and the Jaguars, they don't look so good right now. Obviously, it's just the preseason, so we'll see what happens. But like I said on Twitter, I am overreacting to the preseason. And I don't care.
I know.
I'm
overreacting.
Of course you
I love that tweet, though.